Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In this video, we are going to discuss about again a big news coming from the neighboring country of Bangladesh, where it seems that after a long period, finally it is time for Muhammad Yunus to go. He has decided and actually making the mind to resign as he is losing the mass support he used to enjoy till now. So let us try to understand in more detail that what can be the reason behind his resignation or decision to take decision to resign, and what are the internal squabbles in the political sphere. I also talk about the in the military sphere Bangladesh is largely facing. So to give you the brief context of this particular topic, we can see that the student leader of Bangladesh who led the student protest against the Sheikh Hasina's government last year in the month of July, August 2024, he has said that we have been hearing about the news that Muhammad Yunus sir is going to resign. So he went to meet with Muhammad Yunus, and there he has clearly said that he is definitely thinking about it, and he feels that in the current situation which prevails in Bangladesh, he is not free to work and he cannot work as such. So Bangladesh chief advisor, as he called himself, because again, if you try to understand, this is a general term that is used by leaders all across the world whenever there is a government in interim state. So Bangladesh currently is being run by an interim government because this government is not elected by the people as such. So rather than calling himself as the Prime Minister of the Bangladesh, he has decided to call himself as a Chief Advisor of Bangladesh. So the Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus is mulling to resign, as he finds it's very difficult to get the support of political parties to reach a common ground and how to lead the country as such. Now, if we try to understand in this particular regard, Yunus has informed his cabinet members as well that he will quit if political parties do not give him their full support as such. Now, very interesting development has happened in Bangladesh, because if you look at Bangladesh historically, it has been run by two major countries, two major parties actually. One party was led by Sheikh Hasina, called as Awami League. Other party was led by Khaleda Zia and is being led by Khaleda Zia as of now. That is called as Bangladesh Nationalist Party as such. Now, recently, the interim government of Bangladesh has decided to ban the activities and actions of the Awami League led by Sheikh Hasina. That means that party cannot contest in the elections as such. And obviously, if the other party, the main rival party, did not contest the election, it becomes very clear that the obvious winner will be the BNP, Khaleda Zia led Bangladesh Nationalist Party as such. And so, to understand and take opportunity, take advantage of this particular opportunity, we have seen that a large scale protest is being arranged by the BNP leaders and the BNP members, and these protests have for the first time erupted against the interim government of Bangladesh that is led by Muhammad Yunus. So thousands of supporters, if we try to look at the current situation, thousands of supporters have poured in from all across the Bangladesh into the streets, especially of the capital city Dhaka, and they are largely asking for for the what you can call as holding of elections in Bangladesh as soon as possible in this regard. Also, Bangladeshi army is also not very happy with the way how interim government is running the country. So in this context, again, the chief general or army chief has also stated that the interim government led by Muhammad Yunus has not taken right measures either for strengthening the bilateral relations of Bangladesh with the other neighboring countries, nor he has taken such action that can put Bangladesh in a better position as it was 1 year back as such. And this becomes very critical in the context of the development we are seeing along the border areas of Bangladesh in the region of Myanmar. If you look at this map here, this is the Bangladesh, more precisely this region is called as the Cox Bazar region, and to the south of this you have a border with the Myanmar. This is called as the Rakhine state. So in the Rakhine state, we have been witnessing a civil war like situation for past few months, where the Arakan army, which is a rebel group, insurgent group as it is referred by the military junta of Myanmar, they have been continuously fighting against the Myanmar military, and not only they have been fighting, they have been successfully able to capture many of the major areas and the towns and the towns and the cities of the Rakhine region. And now it seems that the spillover of this fight is being seen in the case of Bangladesh as well, because recently we also have seen a report of a shell that is allegedly fired by the Arakan army landing into the Bangladeshi territory, killing 2 farmers as such. Not only that, many Rohingya refugees have been kidnapped by the Arakan army as well as Myanmar's military junta to serve for them in the Myanmar. So this has caused further breakdown of relationship between the Myanmar and Bangladesh as such. So seems that trouble is not going to end soon for the Bangladesh. And the major issue that Bangladesh today faces is the Rohingya issues, where it is believed that 900,000 Rohingya currently are living in Bangladesh, and the main aim of the government of Bangladesh is to repatriate them back, send them back in the Myanmar where they belong to. And that is why Bangladesh also has tried to come to such kind of understanding with the Afghan army, where it has stated that we should try to declare a no-fly zone in the border areas, a safe corridor, and the right to protect for the Rohingya refugees who might move back from the Bangladesh back to the Myanmar as such. But again, not any significant development we have seen taking place in that area and that sphere also. So this also can be considered as a failure of the Bangladesh's interim government as such. Now, we'll take a background of how Bangladesh has reached to a particular situation of political turmoil. We can go back to the month of August 2024. It was on the 5th of August, Sheikh Hasina has to flee the country, and she has since then taken refuge in India. She has been granted political asylum in India because there was risk to her life, as a large scale protest erupted in the Bangladesh's capital Dhaka. The protest was largely led by the students from the universities across Dhaka, and they had a firm backing of the opposition political parties, and most importantly the Bangladeshi Nationalist Party as such. And since then she has been staying in India as such. And I told you recently, the interim government led Bangladesh has taken this decision that the party should be banned. That means she will not be able to contest the election, or any candidate from her party will not be able to contest elections in the Bangladesh as such, which Muhammad Yunus has promised to schedule as soon as possible. And as we have discussed, this become very interesting because it means that there is a very high possibility that Khaleda Zia led BNP will come back into the power after a very long duration. Now, there is a clear difference between the pool, because in the beginning I told you it is for the first time BNP is leading such a large scale mass protest against the interim government who it used to back till few months back. So what is the reason behind this? Now here they have clearly stated that the reason why they have no other option but to protest against the interim government is because the government seems to have failed in meeting the public expectations. And since it is not meeting the public expectation, since the situation in the Bangladesh, whether it is related to the poverty, whether it is related to the unemployment rate, whether it is related to the difficulties that the businesses are facing there, it seems that BNP cannot continue to extend its support. Also, the highest priority BNP has said should be placed on announcing a clear roadmap for the election. So obviously, if you talk about the current government, the interim government that is led by Muhammad Yunus has clearly stated that they are willing to hold the election, but when exactly, that day still has not been decided. Earlier he used to say that by the end of 2025 will conduct the election, and now also he is saying that elections should be conducted somewhere in the month of June 2026. So it also seems that Yunus has got a taste of the blood that is having a power and basically being able to capture the highest office of the particular country as such. And that is why there is a very famous adage you have in this, what you can call as English, that absolute power corrupts absolutely. So something like that kind of situation you might also be seeing in the case of interim government as such. Now, Bangladesh is passing through a chaotic phase. That is what BNP's spokesperson has stated, where the situation is getting worse day by day. An example of this we can see from the certain fact that till now, Bangladeshi businesses, especially we talk about the ready-made garment or cotton textile export, they used to enjoy cost competitiveness because they were able to use the ports and the land ports as well as the sea ports of India to export their goods in the third countries. Now, because of the deterioration of relation between India and Bangladesh due to the anti-Indian stance clearly visible in the Muhammad Yunus-led government, India has decided to suspend such agreement, and that is where also we see the effect on the Bangladeshi people as such and the Bangladeshi businesses as such. So that is also one reason why the situation is getting worse day by day. Now also, if you talk about the Army Chief General Waqar-uz-Zaman, as you can see from picture here, he has clearly stated that the Yunus government has failed in putting enough effort to make the country better after the ouster of Sheikh Hasina last year. If anything has happened, Bangladesh situation has become more worse, and this also has come at the time when Trump has taken the decision to suspend UN aid to Bangladesh. UN aid was a big support for the Bangladesh's ailing economy because it used to provide a huge amount of revenue, resources, and aid supplies to the country as such. So all this situation have created a further rift, we can say, between the army and the civilian government as such. He also has criticized the interim government for excluding the military from important decision-making process, especially those decisions which concerns with the third country, because the security of country largely is the responsibility of army and the military, and if they do not have any say in that, that means army cannot be expected to do the firefighting if the interim government has been taking some bad decisions or wrong decisions. Now, as far as the concerns with decision making is concerned, first of all, both the opposition parties as well as the army believes that many actions are being taken without adequate consultation. That means it is just few people who are close to the close to the interim chief advisor of Bangladesh, Muhammad Yunus, are the one who are largely taking the decision. For example, when we talk about the Rohingya humanitarian corridor or Rohingya aid corridor, it is largely the brainchild of the foreign affairs minister of Bangladesh, and he has not consulted with anyone else as such. Similarly, there is urgent need for inclusive elections. That is the point army has reiterated many times. Even a few months back, there was a large scale talk and discussion that there might be a probability of a coup in the Bangladesh, where Bangladeshi army not being happy with the way how country is being run by Muhammad Yunus, they can actually topple the government. So again, they have reiterated that there is a need for the inclusive elections because any unelected interim government, it is just for a transition period. It cannot be expected to continue, take charge of country and decide and determine the direction in which a country moves for a long duration of time, because the government anyway is illegitimate in nature, specifically in those countries where democracy is in force. So engaging with influential external actors and making significant decisions without a public mandate is something that Bangladesh army does not agree with, which Muhammad Yunus government has largely been engaged in. So these are the disturbances and the situations which has led finally to Muhammad Yunus to concede that he has lost the political support, he has lost the support of army, he has lost the support of general public as well, and that is why it is right time for him to depart, or at least decide a date for elections as soon as possible, so that the Bangladeshi people can determine that who will lead the country and in what direction they want the country to go. So that is all for this particular video. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your aspirants, as well as subscribe to our channel for more such content. Thank you very much.